Hello everybody and welcome to another Destiny build video. Today is a pretty insane Strand Hunter build. It's going to allow you to suspend enemies, gain woven mail, and even fire a ton of unraveling rounds. It's going to allow you to create a lot of cyclones through tangles and much more. So without further ado, let me show you how to make this build. We're going to start here with our exotic of choice, which is going to be the brand new exotic chest piece that works for the threaded spikes. This one is going to make it so that our threaded spikes can bounce to tangles. And when they do, it'll detonate them and return them immediately. Tangles that are detonated by the threaded spike are rewoven and retrieved by it. Catches without a tangle will refund extra melee energy. So this is going to be how we're going to be able to create a ton of cyclones. Because when we create tangles, we're going to want to throw our threaded spike at them. It's going to hit them, create a cyclone, and then when we catch it, it'll bring us back another tangle. So that way we can throw it and create a second one. So that is why we want this chest piece specifically. For our stats, you're going to want a melee, a class, and a weapons at a 100. Or at least as close as you can get with it. If you can't get it to a 100, then anything around 75 to 80, especially 90 is good enough. Now, the only one you're going to want to have over a 100 is probably going to be your melee. This is going to allow your melee to deal more damage. That way it will take out enemies a lot easier. Another good one to have is going to be also your class stat. This is going to make it so that way you get an overshield when you do slam down on the floor. That is another good one to have over 100. So it is up to you which one you'd like to have, but specifically you're going to want your weapons, class, and melee stat to be as close to a 100 as possible. Now for our weapon of choice is going to be the Final Warning. Final Warning is a really good sidearm. It's going to allow you to hold down the trigger and mark targets within range and load multiple bullets, which fire in a burst with increased stability on trigger release. Hitting a marked target with a fully charged burst will unravel them. That's going to be so crucial to this build because that's going to be how we're going to get a lot of tangles. And its other perk is going to be when you hip fire it, projectiles will track the marked targets, basically like aimbot, dealing increased body shot damage. We're mostly going to want to just hip fire this gun, so that's going to be pretty much what you want to do. Now, this weapon is really good, yet again, because it will unravel enemies, aka create tangles when you defeat them, and it's also just incredibly strong. It's also going to just aimbot basically enemies, which is really good, because sometimes it can get pretty hectic to see your enemies when there's 3 cyclones going, unraveling rounds flying around, tangles being spawned, even threadlings being spawned, everything. It's going to be pretty hectic, so being able to just kind of mark them and fire and let the bullets do the work is going to be pretty nice. Next is going to be our Thread Runner subclass, aka Strand. So we're going to start over here with our super, obviously only one choice, so not much to choose there. For our dodge, you're going to want Gambler's Dodge. This way, when we use our slam and suspend enemies, get woven mail, everything of that sort, this is going to allow us to kind of get back our threaded spike here, which will be our melee. That way we can throw it again, hit a tangle, create some more cyclones, and everything of that sort. For our jump, go ahead and put on whatever you are most comfortable with. For our melee, obviously is going to be threaded spike. Not that we have any other option, but even if we did, this is going to be the one that works with our exotic chest piece. So this is going to be the one you want to have on. For our grenade, you can actually technically put on whatever you would like. Now, the only one I would recommend probably not using is going to be Threadling Grenade. The reason why is because Threadlings will not have a elemental debuff. So, Grapple and of course the Shackle Grenade, which will suspend and obviously grapple with Unravel, will both spawn tangles on kills. So I probably recommend just sticking with Grapple. That would probably be my recommendation. For the aspects, you're going to want Whirling Maelstrom. This is going to make so when you destroy a tangle, it will weave a violent, writhing mass of strand fibers. The strand mass seeks out and damages targets, emitting unraveling projectiles when it defeats them. Yet another way that we're going to be unraveling enemies to create more tangles. And then last for our aspect is going to be Ensnaring Slam. Ensnaring Slam is going to allow us to use our air move, aka use our class ability while in the air, to slam down to the ground, suspending all nearby targets on impact. Suspending enemies with this ability, though, will grant us woven mail. So that is a very big key part of this build. We're going to use this to basically start a fight. We're going to get woven mail. If you suspend enough enemies, which I believe is around 4 to 5, you will get about 20 seconds of woven mail, which is really, really good. So you're going to slam down with this, suspend a bunch of enemies, kill them. Of course, that will create tangles. Destroy those tangles, hopefully with your melee, or at least just destroy them in general, pick them up or throw them. That will create, obviously, our cyclones, which will go crazy. And we'll just keep the cycle up as we'll get back our class ability, hopefully before, obviously, our Woven Mail runs out. Now for our fragments, we're going to start with Thread of Mind. Defeating suspended targets will grant us class ability energy. So those enemies that we suspend with obviously our slam is going to be defeated and give us back class ability energy. That way we can almost upkeep our Woven Mail pretty much 100% of the time. Next will be Thread of Transmutation. This is going to make it so that while you have Woven Mail, weapon final blows will create a tangle. Another way that we're going to create more tangles, that way we will have more cyclones. Next will be Thread of Evolution. Threadlings will travel farther and deal additional damage. Now the reason we want this one is because all of the artifact mods that are going to allow us to spawn threadlings. Now you can obviously switch this out if you're not using those artifact mods, or if obviously the next season is here, Renegades is here, and obviously probably not going to have mods that are going to generate threadlings. And obviously we have nothing that generates threadlings, so you can go ahead and take that off then and swap it to just pretty much anything else that can be very good. Maybe Thread of Rebirth. That way you can at least still spawn a threadling on a chance with a strand. Weapon Final Blow. So that'll probably be my recommendation, is when Renegades hits, swap it off to Thread of Rebirth. And our final fragment is going to be Thread of Fury. Damaging targets with a tangle will grant melee energy. Of course, a tangle is also our cyclone, so we're going to get a ton of melee energy back from that, which is going to help us throw more threaded spikes. Now for the armor mods, we're going to start here with our helmet. We're going to have on a harmonic siphon, so that was rapid strand weapon final blows, aka our final warning, will create orbs of power. We're going to use hands-on, so that way we get bonus super energy on melee kills from our threaded spike, since we should be throwing that almost all the time. And then we're going to put on a super font, so that is while we have armor charge, we get a nice little plus 20 to our super stat, just that way we can get our super back a little bit faster. Now for our gauntlets, we're going to put on a heavy-handed, same idea as the obviously hands-on. This is so that way that when we use our powered melee and it gets a kill, it will create an orb of power. Melee font as well, that way we get another plus 20 to our melee stat, whether that sets us over 100 to give us a little more damage, or whether that puts us closer to 100, that way it comes back faster. That is a good reason to have on a melee font. And then we're going to put on focusing strikes that we get class ability energy back when we cause damage with our powered melee. So that threaded spike is also going to help refund our dodge, which is obviously our slam to get woven mail, and obviously even refund the threaded spike itself. For our chest piece, obviously put on 3 resistance mods, whatever you need to survive in the activity that you're doing. For the boots, you're going to want an insulation, so it gives you back some more class ability energy when you pick up an orb of power. And then you're going to want 2 strand weapon surges, so you get a 17% bonus weapon damage to your final warning. Now if you want, you can take one of them off maybe and put on invigoration, so you get back some melee energy as well. But I kind of figure since our class, since it's Gambler's dodge, is going to refund our melee anyway, there's not really much reason to put that on. So I recommend just leaving on 2 strand weapon surges, but if you'd like to swap one of them with invigoration, you can. And last but not least is going to be our class item. We're going to run dual Reaper mods, so 2 Reaper mods. This is going to make us that when we use our, obviously, slam ability, our dodge, our next weapon final blow is guaranteed to spawn an orb of power. This is just obviously how we're going to upkeep our fonts and everything of that sort. And last but not least is going to be a powerful attraction mod. That way is when we use our class ability, any orbs on the floor will automatically be picked up nearby. This is obviously just nice because sometimes it's annoying when you have to try to make sure you run over your orbs and everything of that sort. Now, last but not least is going to be our artifact. So we're going to take advantage of some mods, specifically being Tightly Woven, Threadling Proliferation, Pack Tactics, Refresh Threads, Reciprocal Draw, Elemental Coalescence, Tangled Web, Shield Crush, and Threaded Blast. These are going to be amazing because they work with sidearms, woven mail, and other strand beings. And that's going to be the ones that obviously will generate threadlings on strand weapon damage. It's going to give us stats when we have woven mail. It's going to make us get more elemental pickups, which for strand will be tangles. and it's just overall going to make the build that much better. So definitely the ones you're going to want to have on, so that way you can take full advantage of this build. So with all of that being said, that's the end of the video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this build, and while you're down there, if you like the video, then why not hit the like button, subscribe, comment, share, all that good jazz, because we got a ton of build videos out already for you to see. We also got a ton obviously going to come in the future, so why not join the family and stick around. With all that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, I will see you around the tower.